So if you're watching this, you're probably in e-commerce, and I want to run you through today a page type that absolutely outperforms consistently every other format that we've tested for cold meta traffic. Not product pages, not generic sort of landing pages that people talk about that really perform at the ad level. Real pages called advertorials. Now you might have heard of advertorials. If you haven't, then you must be living under a rock, but it's not one of those weird scammy pages that people seem to run and put them into a black hat sort of upsell funnel. But we're talking a modern version of this backed by research, data that we've got on the customer, and really how you can transform your entire meta structure and advertising funnels for cold traffic. This has worked on brands that we work with that are doing 10, 50, 100 million a year, 8 and 9 figure brands across multiple industries like supplement brands, skincare brands, wellness brands. And for one client especially, I want to show you one that we built for them that they still cannot beat. They're testing new creatives with it and it's consistently scaling while the CPA stays the same and is slightly dropping lower. And I've got a literal screenshot of the client's message right here that we can put on the screen and showcase for you. In this video, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to break down exactly why advertorials work for cold traffic, show you the 6-part structure behind every one that we build and how that really has to work in terms of ad to lander congruency, okay? And how it has to work for cold traffic, because that is the thing that we're all struggling to convert right now, because acquisition is the game of e-com. Once we get them in, we can keep them coming because of retention and mainly brands being subscription that we work with. But for this one, I want to show you mainly on the acquisition side how that can work. Now, the biggest problem most brands have right now is literally, as I said, acquisition. They're spending 50, 100, 200 grand a month on Meta, even Google potentially, or TikTok. Now, they have completely different types of traffic, but I'm going to focus primarily on what worked for Meta for most of our clients. Every single ad, cold traffic, warm traffic, retargeting for brands usually lands on the same page, which is an absolute no-go. And for cold traffic, that will not work, especially if you're pretending like they have seen you before, or they know exactly maybe what problem they have or the solution they have, but they don't know what the main problem is, okay? Cold traffic's never heard of your brand, remember, and they don't trust anything you say. They don't know why your product's different than the 12 others that they've got hit with the same ad for, okay? So we've got to really prove that on these pages and showcase that, and how we then potentially get them into buying your offer and how we create an irresistible offer. So I'm going to run you through it. I'm going to share my screen and showcase how we actually make you more revenue converting cold traffic at the ad level, all right? So let's get into it. So on the screen, I'm going to show you 2 advertorials for the same type of product and brand, and I'm going to break you down the exact principles in which we run through to actually build these out and showcase to you how to actually create advertorials that scale for 8 and 9 figure brands, okay? Now, if you're even a 7-figure brand, you can run these, okay? Any size of brand can run these and they will help you scale. You've just got to really understand your customer base, okay? Now, before we get into it, the goal is to actually run through how to build these with research in mind first. So just to give you some context on who we are and what we do, we are a CRO and Shopify agency who work with 7, 8, 9 figure brands optimizing their entire full funnels, okay? So everything post-click is what we touch. Landing pages, full funnel persona driven avatar builds, and website optimizations and split testing. Now here's some brands that we work with and we have worked with in general who are pretty well known in the industry. But what I want to start with is mainly the research. So if you're interested in knowing a bit more about us as well, you can actually just click the link below. Go and watch any of my other videos. I have tons of videos on here explaining processes, wins, and breaking down other landing pages. So you'll expect more of these coming out. Now, to get into the video, everything starts with research. Within CRO, within landing pages, all of it starts with research. And this is a document that we kind of built out just to give you some context onto how we actually do this. So if you're doing any sort of landing page or CRO funnel work, split testing, you have to start analyzing your data. That's through customers, through quantitative and qualitative analysis, okay? So qualitative analysis is website reviews, surveys, support tickets, meta ad comments, everything like that, where you can actually extract the value from what your customers are actually saying and what people that you're trying to buy at the ad level are actually saying inside forums, things like Reddit, which I will go through and how we extracted that information, research documents, research papers online when it comes to actual ingredients that are within your product, and actually trying to showcase it and back it by real reviews, real social proof, but also science, which is a social proof in itself. Now, once you understand all this, you understand what your customers see, what they say, and what they click. That's our 3-way model in which we like to analyze things. You will be able to understand more about what their main pain points are, and you've got to do this research to actually build out the avatars and the personas that you have for your brand. Now, what we then do is we ideate on it, we write out everything, and we prioritize what it is we need to do through the copywriting and design, okay? Now, then we'll go into the development, and then we'll learn from everything that we do. Now, When we do this, this is what we then extract called the 6-way customer info system. And it's everything that I said there. And it's a way in which you can steal, those ideas and those things from what your customers tell you, and you funnel that back into your actual landing pages and your funnels. Okay. So you've got to extract all of these learnings, and we utilize our AI system for this. And we then implement it across landing pages, PDPs, navigation, headlines, everything. Okay. So you can really get and extract important information from this. Now I'm going to put that into perspective with brands that we've worked with, and these 2 examples right here to showcase you different ways in which you can do advertorials and how you can break them down. Now, we always talk about hooks, okay? The hook of an ad, the winning ad creative that you're seeing outperform everything. You want to make that aligned to what you're trying to do on your landing pages and the congruency of funnel, okay? So you have to have ad to landing page congruency. This is the hook of your landing page. Make sure that you actually can reduce the bounce rate on the page and get them to actually stay and read more. Every section on this has to integrate into the next one. It's kind of like a story, and you want to word it in a way where they actually are intrigued to read more, okay? Now, the way these are structured, they're not amazing designs. They're really structured like an editorial, like a news article, like an Advertorials, that's the name of them. But we can kind of call them editorials sometimes, which is this style and this style where it's written by someone. Now, this is all backed by data and research. We have done so much research into this. As you can see here on the left, we have things like science reports. We have breakdowns of actual things that they could use versus what's in our product. And we have all of this listed out. Now, as you'll also see here, we'll break it down from the top. So new study finds up to 40% of toddlers today are not getting enough sleep, leading to behavioral issues, lower IQ scores, and higher risk of obesity. Now, the main thing about this is we're using a stat to back up the fact that they don't feel like they're alone. So if their toddler is struggling with this, they're not alone, okay? Now, we also want to show that we need to fix the problem now because it's leading to other issues down the line in terms of what can happen in the future. So we're getting their buy-in, and we're also pointing out the fact that it's backing up with real statistics and issues that they may be seeing. On the right here, the bedtime breakthrough moms are calling magic in a bottle. So a really easy solution to a massive issue, which is magic in a bottle. So it's a really easy, fix. Why over 168,000 mums trust this natural magnesium lotion to help their toddler sleep. So social proof naming the avatar as well, which is moms, or mums, and trust this natural magnesium lotion. So natural product, magnesium, straight away calling out exactly what it is so that they're starting to be aware of that. Now we're showcasing a crying toddler on both sides. That's our avatar really. We're trying to speak to the toddler and to the mother. Obviously the mother's going to speak for both of them, if you know what I mean. So we're trying to tap into those emotional problems that they're facing. Now, what we're then doing is the pain point of the research customer. So recent studies we're talking about here, but many of them struggle to fall asleep, wake up frequently at night, and aren't getting enough sleep on a daily basis. Unfortunately, most parents are not even aware that this child is struggling with poor sleep, okay? And then we're backing it up with a statistic, because what happens is that we realize that the mums think that, or the parents think, both parents think that they are sleeping enough, but actually they're not. And we're trying to speak to two different personas here. This persona is kind of understanding that things are going real bad. 2 a.m. reality, child's not sleeping. You're on the floor next to the crib trying to do anything you can for this child to sleep. Maybe you're doing walking, someone else is snoring, the clock's ticking. You're really tapping into those issues that they're facing. You're really getting into that psychology that they're trying to deal with, because if they read this, they're going to go, this is literally me. And I feel like this is reading exactly what I'm thinking right now. And we talk about everything that's happening, and then we transition from the problem to the product, okay? So we need to make sure that feels invisible, nearly like the reader just seems from the story into the product. So we introduce the product, we call out everything that matters. It's not a drug, it's not melatonin, it's not a quick fix leaving them groggy. So it's nothing that's going to mess them up, because that's an objection that we figured out in the research phase. It's a safe, soothing blend of magnesium, lavender, chamomile, and we're trying to talk about the use and the safety of it as well, because it's a child, okay? Children are a lot more sensitive. We don't want them to dive into something that's going to mess them up down the line or is really bad for them. On the left here, we actually dive more into the problems. As you can see here, we're actually tapping into the problem. we're tapping into the consequences of what's not fixing it, backing that up with actual behavioral problems, with real scientific things like child sleep deficiency and other sleep problems, including physical outcomes, yada yada yada, all lead to behavioral disorders. Okay, so we're backing this one way deeper into the problem and the issues that they're facing. We're agitating that, so that's the PAS copywriting framework, and then we're tapping into the solution of what they've tried and why it doesn't work, and then going into what really works, which is all natural solutions, which is your product. Now, as you can see here, these are much different lengths. So the one on the left is way more copy heavy, way more into the problem and the issues. The one on the right is a little bit probably on a different avatar that doesn't need to really dive into the science as much. But again, you want to test these types of things, and these are both could go in the same ad sets at the ad level. Now, what we're doing then, if I scroll back up just before I skip these last bits, is explaining the mechanism, explaining why it works, why others don't, and backing it up with their scenario. So sort of trying to show out the signs. So again, similar to the left, we're pointing out the problems that they have. We're calling out the issues that they're maybe seeing and they're facing, making it really relatable to what are they sort of feeling that they're coming up against in terms of their toddler's not sleeping. There's always issues, and we need to make it relatable and provide real life stories that make them believe it. Okay. Now, what's inside and what's not. Go against the norm, but showcase ingredients. Okay. So going against the norm, which is melatonin, parabens, the usual sort of bad things that are in these types of products. We don't want to give them to kids, that's for sure. And we're making sure they know that. But we're also showing that it's safe, effective, and gentle. So something that mothers need to give their children. Okay. We don't want something that's harsh on the body. That's definitely not something we want to do. And then as you go in here, we're backing this up by the science. Okay. So as you can see, if we actually just talk about what's not in it, right? What's not in the product. And then we actually go here into magnesium plays a key role in sleep regulation. So we always want to call out what magnesium does, because not many people actually understand what magnesium does. They just know that these products are in sleeping products. Okay. Call out why it works. So supporting the calm and relaxation. And also if your child has low magnesium levels, improving it may help. So maybe trying to provide them or tell them what the main problem could be. Now, we obviously show it as well, backed by human trials in terms of why this is in it, lavender aromatherapy, and the improvements on sleep quality, okay? Now, then we have the 1, 2, 3 scenario, okay? This is always a really easy way. Even people that sell other products never show how to actually use the product. It's an objection people have. We want them leaving here, jumping to either the offer at the bottom or product page and being fully aware of what this product does for them. All right. So I want to showcase how easy it is to use and how easy it is that they can actually start to integrate this. And the fact that it's a balm. Okay. It's a lotion. They can buy multiple jars. Most mums get through 2 to 3 jars per order to avoid running out. Okay. So a little trick here just to kind of tell them, which is true, but it's an irresistible offer. We're actually showcasing that they can save money by buying more at once. And we're also giving them the supply. Okay. 2 week supply, 4 ounces. Imagine we had just said, buy 2 jars, they're 4 ounces. Okay, we need to tell them the rough outcome of how much it takes to use this product and how much they will use it. And that's something that I always see brands do really wrong when it comes to offers and funnels, is they never break down the value proposition, the value stack, and they never tell people, hey, this is 30 sachets that last 30 days. Okay, you want to tell them it. It then seeps into their subconscious mind, and they'll be ready to then actually probably purchase more at once. And then also you can kind of back it up with the guarantee. Now, we always try to put FAQs as high as we physically can without it getting in the way, because what it does is it's a common concern we found through research. So again, surveys, post-purchase and to customers, reviews, forums, all of these are issues. People have these queries. What's the ingredient list? What's in it? Okay, they want to know what's in it because they're giving it to a child. How long before it works? What if it doesn't work for us? How can I use this without other sleep products, and what age range can I use this lotion? Link it back to common concerns then through research. So why moms keep reordering. So actually backing it up then about the LTV play. LTV is the key for every single brand, especially the brands we work with subscriptions and offers. LTV is king. So we want to tell them why it works. And again, these are subtle USPs that kind of then justify the decision. So again, this is all close to the buy box to justify why they should buy the product and the offer. which is talking about a price point, how long it lasts. So that's a key thing. We don't want them to buy every 2 weeks because it is expensive, and it becomes a common ritual. Now, these parents at this stage will do anything in their power to actually sell, and that's the key thing, or to actually these parents will do anything they can to make their child sleep. So we want to always link back to the main concerns that these people have, and we want to then push them into a offer section that capitalizes on where they're at, what happens, what's going to happen next, and to secure it without losing the product because stock is low. Okay, they actually run out of batches, so they always want to say this. And your CTA, okay, make it outcome driven. You want to make this outcome driven. So you can see you can see the page, everything is still the same. And why I like the one on the left a little bit more as well, by the way, is just this part. Okay, real reviews from screenshotted pages. If you have a community or you have real content from parents or from your customer avatar, put it in. You can't fake this, okay? They will know what Facebook looks like, and you can tell them that. Again, social proof right here. So there's so many key learnings here, but this is just an example of what we can do for brands. As I said, we work with 7, 8, 9-figure brands. You can watch all my content on YouTube. Follow me on LinkedIn, look up Paddy McLarnon, or look up PM Digital. I'll leave some call links below. You can subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you would like me to run through next and showcase. But this is just an example of 1 out of 500 plus pages we've made across our clients. We've done over 1,000 split tests. We've worked with over 150 brands, and a lot of them in that 7, 8, 9-figure mark. Okay, so if you're in that mark, book a call, let's have a chat. I'll give you a profit audit. We can run through what it is that we can do to improve your funnels and your website, and yeah, see if we can work together. Thanks so much for watching.